Awaken into the reality that awaits your awakened presence. October 14, 2014. It is important for humanity, especially you light bearers and way showers, to come to the awareness that there is no order of preference in the spiritual realms, there is no hierarchy, because all are the perfectly created and beloved offspring of God. We may well have different interests, different creative ideas, different areas of responsibility, but in God's eyes we are all equally perfect divine beings, because that is how He created us as part of Him, and He is eternally unchanging, infinitely complete just as He is. In the spiritual realms we meet in harmonious cooperation to address issues that interest us or require our attention, but the overarching and all-enveloping energy field in which we exist and operate is God's field of infinite divine love. Intelligence, wisdom, compassion, healing, acceptance, forgiveness, and reconciliation are all inseparable aspects of love that often seem to be separate when experienced by souls undergoing the human drama. However, many of you have discovered, and many more of you soon will, that when you surrender to love, when you let go of reasoning and attempting to understand others, and instead just allow yourselves to love them unconditionally, you become aware that in truth there is only love, as we never tire of reminding you. The vast majority of problems in human relationships, from individuals to nations, are as a direct result of egoic self-interested agendas that can only lead to mistrust and eventual betrayal. As long as one wants to do better than another, problems arise. There is nothing wrong with wanting to do better, to improve yourself, but when it becomes competitive it always leads to conflict. And as all are in truth one, conflict of any kind is obviously insane. So, the tsunami of love continues to flow around you, through you, to totally envelop you, waiting patiently and compassionately for you to accept it, as eventually everyone will. But there is no pressure being applied, it is infinitely gentle and infinitely patient because it knows that you will accept it and enter into a state of total joy when you do so. It just continues to intensify, and will continue to do so until all awaken. Is that not a most liberating and uplifting thought? As you well know, having been told so often that it probably hurts, time is illusory, all is now, but within the illusion it seems to have been around for a very long time. And as long as you resist love, your natural and eternal state, and continue to compete with and judge one another, so long will the illusion exist and seemingly contain you. The illusion is the only place in which that which is not love can exist, and of course there is no such place. And this makes it extremely confusing for you as you go about your daily lives, coping with issues, problems, pain, suffering, conflict and betrayal that seem very real indeed. Here in the spiritual realms we expect and anticipate your awakening with great joy because we know that it is inevitable, and that it is now. So while we have great compassion for the suffering you appear to be undergoing, and which seems so real and painful to you, we always see the big picture, the divine picture in which there is only total joy and total love. We assist you by being present for you, available to you in every moment to hug you, to give you a love squeeze, and to constantly reassure you that all is truly well. You all know that when you relax into that quiet inner space, your holy sanctuary, and just allow the present moment to be, while inviting us, whoever you feel or intuit as your own personal contact person in the spiritual realms, to be with you and offer you guidance and comfort, you feel very much better almost instantly. We can see and feel the upliftment of your spirit when you open to us, and that is most wonderful because it demonstrates love in action to us again and again, the oneness that we all share with our Divine Father. Or, Father, Mother, God for those of you who have trouble with words that seem exclusionary or divisive. Just remember that all words are divisive, confusing, inadequate, because they are merely very poor symbols that are intended to point to God, who is infinitely beyond words, beyond description, and can only be experienced. And that magnificent experience awaits you when you embrace and offer unconditional love in every relationship and thus allow the illusion to dissipate, as it will. Your onward progress towards awakening is powering forwards, creating great waves of love in the ocean of love that envelops you. You have an expression, our fish aware of the water. And of course the answer is not unless they are removed from it. The illusion was built to allow you to remove yourselves from the ocean of love, but of course it is impossible to remove yourselves from that which permanently and eternally contains you, as there is nowhere else. The illusion is illusory, but its purpose remains as long as you support it, and that purpose is for you to experience a state of existence without love. For many of you that state seems to have been achieved. In the restricted and limited state of consciousness provided by your human vehicle, you frequently feel unloved and unlovable, and that is a very unsettling and disturbing experience. The awakening process has been ongoing since the moment of your apparent separation from God, and during those eons many reasons for the unsatisfactory nature of life on earth have been considered, and many attempts have been made to contact a God, a higher intelligence, a supreme being who, if suitably kowtowed to, might condescend to hear your prayers and your cries for help, and then possibly intervene to mitigate your pain and suffering, even imposing that suffering on someone else, your enemies. Hence sacrifices to this unknown and terrifying entity. Now you have psychology and psychotherapy to help you release yourselves from suffering, and it does help, a little. It too uses reason to help you, who abused you, and why, and offers suggestions and support groups where you can go and tell your painful stories to sympathetic listeners who have had similar or worse experiences. Again, this is helpful, but the real issue is constantly avoided because most cannot see it, and that is that love is all. There is nothing else. When someone does become aware of this one truth and engages with it, healing of a most magnificent kind occurs. So, as always, the message from the spiritual realms, from heaven, from God is there is only love. Accept this divine truth, embrace, share, and extend it, and awaken into the reality that awaits your awakened presence where you will find only eternal joy. With so very much love, Saul. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman.wordpress.com